Hi there, welcome to this day of the festive tech calendar, and I'd like to welcome you. I hope you are in a festive mood like I am. As you see, I got my Christmas sweater, Santa's hat, the shelf, everything is all set up. I'm ready for this season and get a little bit of seasonal spirit. And during these days, especially after this kind of rough year we all had with the global pandemic and everything, maybe you would like to slow down a bit, maybe treat yourself with something nice. And I would like to take the opportunity to tell you something about the so-called Dev Tenant or Developer Tenant, what that is, what you can use it for, and why should you care. If you are interested in the Power Platform and maybe lack the opportunity of try it out because your workplace doesn't allow you, you don't have a license, or you don't have your own tenant, there is a solution for you. There is something that is called the Developer Tenant by Microsoft. And that is a fully fledged Microsoft tenant with an E5 license that is given to you if you join the Microsoft Developer Program for learning and testing purposes. So this is completely free. This is a tenant with an E5 license, which you can deploy test emails and test users to. So you have a fully working environment that you can use for testing things, learning things, and trying things out. So this is a perfect opportunity to learn everything about the Power Platform. You don't have to fear to break anything in production or in your work environment or somewhere else. What you need to do, and what I will guide you through click by click, so you can click along, rewind, and pause it every time you need. I would show you how to perform the 3 steps that are necessary for you to get your own working environment tenant. These 3 steps are, first of all, if you don't have a Microsoft account already, I will show you how to get a Microsoft account for free. Boom. Second step, we will register that Microsoft account at the Microsoft Developer Program so that you get your own developer tenant. And to really beef it up and give it the full power of the Power Platform, we will hook you up with your developer tenant, to the Power Platform Community Plan. This gives you another environment to play around. This gives you the possibility to use premium connectors and really get the full Power Platform experience. So I'm pretty excited. I hope you are too. Please join me and let's check it out. All right, let's get started with the first step. Let's get you a new Microsoft account. Now, if you already have one, you don't need a new one. Let's just assume if you are starting from scratch, this is how you get a Microsoft account. We will go to the site www.microsoft.com/account. Hit the enter key. And here we have our account. If you already have one, you can sign in here or here on the left-hand side, but let's create another Microsoft account, fresh from the start. So I could create an account from an email I already have, or we could get a new email address, and I would like to do that just to make sure to show you that we are starting from scratch. And now let's get a new email. Let's call that Santa's Powerhouse at outlook.com. Let's see if that account is already taken or not. Let's click on next. It's free. Awesome. Type in a password of your choice and keep it in mind or write it down somewhere for the moment. Would I like information, tips, and offers about Microsoft products and services? Not this time, please. I'm fine. Thank you. Let's click on next. Now we are creating our account. You have to set in your region and your country. Germany is fine for me. And give your birth date. We'll do that real quick. Here we go. And we click on next. Now our account is set up. Now we do have to provide Microsoft that we are not a robot. So click on next to solve the puzzle. Now we have to pick the deer. And if my English is correct, that should be a deer. Whew, I'm not a robot. God, I'm glad. All right, would I like to stay signed in? I would go for no this time because for this video, this is easier to handle it. But here we are. This is our Microsoft account. Boom. Step 1 completed. Check. Next, please. Now for the next step, let's set up this account with the Microsoft Developer Program. What I do, what's easy sometimes, is I do mark my account name and press Ctrl C to copy it. If you like, you can copy it to a OneNote or to a notepad or something. Maybe you can just leave it copied like that and we open a new tab. Now, I don't know the address out of my head, so what I do, I Google it real quick. Yes, and what I Google is Microsoft Developer Program. And usually the first entry, join the Microsoft 365 Developer Program today, that sounds really good. That's where we want to go. Yes, this is the start screen. Let me just accept all the cookies. It is the right season for cookies, at least. So now, get a new instant sandbox pre-configured with sample data, including Teams Developer Portal, and start developing on the M365 platform. That sounds a little bit scary since I'm not a developer, but trust me, I tried this before. I'm a kind of professional, so I will guide you through. Let's click on Join Now. Now we have to sign in. And what we do here, we give our credentials that we got earlier. So our account name, click on Next. And here we are to set up or to join the Microsoft 365 Developer Program. Good. Let's select our country and region. I once again go for my one. This is Germany down here. I will come up with a company name. So I named my account Santa's Powerhouse. So we have Santa's App Studio will be our company name. This is a complete fictitious name, obviously, because we will just use and are allowed this to use this developer tenant for testing and learning purposes. So we come up with a fake name. My language preference is English, and I accept the terms and conditions. I still would not like information, tips, and offers about the Microsoft 365 Developer Program. I don't know if this is necessary or useful. Never tried it before. If one of you do or did, please tell me if it's useful, if I'm missing something. Very much appreciated. Now, let's click on Next. Second step. What's your primary focus as a developer? Oh, I'm a developer now. And I would go for personal projects. In the end, it doesn't really matter what you choose. I usually pick personal projects and just hit Next. So what areas of Microsoft 365 development are you interested in? We will show you resources, tools, and training to help get you started. Now that might be useful for some of you. I will just focus on the Power Platform. The more you add here, the more recommendations you will get later on in your developer program dashboard. You can use those suggestions anyway. You don't have to click it here. This is just to check what Microsoft will show you at the very first beginning. Once again, I would like to keep it simple and straightforward, so I just select the Power Platform and click on Save. Now it gives another question, and that is the question, do we want an instant sandbox or a configurable sandbox? This instant sandbox that is chosen by default up here is a kind of new thing. This was just announced, it's announced last Ignite in November. So basically what the difference is on this instant sandbox, you already have users, mails, teams, and a SharePoint set up already. So that means you have demo users, demo mail, and events, and already set up Microsoft Teams that you can use. So this is a lot of less work than if you would configure it yourself. So go for this option here and click on Next. Next step is the country or region for your data center, and that's not necessarily the country or region you live in, but the data center for the Azure data center in the background. We have the regions of the Earth, and I choose for Germany, Europe, obviously. Now my admin username, I usually go for my first name with the initial of my last name, Michael R, and I won't tell you my password, but I do have to confirm it another time, and now I have a typo in here. So here we go. And now the question is here, do you want to use an alternative password for all those 16 fictitious users that you already have? My recommendation is always no, so you don't have to remember a bunch of passwords. Those are fake users after all. But if you prefer to keep a different password for the users than for your admin account, do so. It's pretty much whatever feels better for you. After that, I click on continue. Okay, I do have to add my phone number now for security reasons. What happens if you put in your phone number, you will get a code sent via SMS to verify that you are you for security reasons, and then it goes on. So I type in my phone number, hit send code, and waiting for the code on my phone. This just took a few seconds actually, and I can type in my code now and hit setup. Now our developer subscription is getting set up, and oh, holy moly, we are done already. That was quick. Even though they are saying they're experiencing delays in their SMS system. Now here we are. This is the dashboard of your developer program subscription. And what we can see here now is our domain name, the domain of our developer tenant. It's a little bit gibberish, but who cares? We can see that we have a renewable E5 subscription, and as I was mentioning earlier, this tenant is valid for 90 days unless you use it. So if you don't use it for 90 days, it will expire. If not, the timer will be reset automatically. What we also see is our admin account. So Michael R, I was typing that in earlier. Now we have the domain name that we can see here. This is our user, our admin user. Then we have 25 user licenses, and what we can see here down here is we have sample data packs already pre-installed, which is pretty cool. If you have chosen the configurable sandbox, you have to deploy them by your own, bit by bit, but here it's already done. Let's check. We have users. We have 16 fictitious users with licenses, mailboxes, names, metadata, and photos for each user. That's really handy and it looks good. I will show you how it looks in the AD later. Not AD, in the admin center. Then we have already mail and events deployed. So all those users have mails in their mailbox and events in their calendars. Oh, that's handy. We have Teams, including Teams, channels, chats, and pre-installed sample apps. Nice. And we have a SharePoint sample data pack. That means we have, oh my god, there's a lot in there now. We have a team site with data like work at Contoso and different templates. I recognize those from the lookbook. And I can install even more templates, it says here, if I click the SharePoint button on the subscription tile. Close it. That is the subscription tile here. If you want more than one SharePoint, then you can set it up here. I won't need that. Now, let's take this baby for a test drive, won't we? Okay, this moment is always a little bit exciting for me. I will open a new tab and go to office.com. Let's see what happens. Okay, we can sign in, and we want to sign into our account. And since we set it up in this browser session, we are getting signed in automatically. If you don't get signed in automatically, this is your user that we'll use, Michael R at, this is the domain name, and the password that you set up earlier. Now, we will get the starting tour of Office. Some of you may know it already. We will click through those menus, and let's see what we have here. Say hello to the App Launcher. Hello, App Launcher. I hope you're doing all right. Got it. So, we do have a few apps here, and we have thing. We can buy Office, install Office. Let's see. Let's check all apps down below here because we want to focus on the Power Platform, right? So where do we have it? We have the calendar, Excel, I can see Power Automate, I can see Teams, Outlook, that's good, but I can't see Power Apps. Now, from the top of my head, I don't know why that is, but we will try something out. We will just open another tab and go to the Power App Studio, make.powerapps.com, and let's see what happens. We need to sign in, all right. So we get our user from earlier, our admin user. We mark that, hit Control C to copy that, and Control V to paste it in here. Click on Next. Now our password, and hit sign in. Help us to protect your account. Yes, that's an interesting fact. This E5 subscription account or tenant is switched up with the two-factor authentication for security reason. For this video sakes only, I will hit skip for now because we want to get this dev tenant up and running. It's loading. It's very good. Now this takes a while. Maybe I will fast forward it later. Now something is happening. That looks all very promising. Now that looks good, doesn't it? Here we open the Maker Studio for the first time, so we get the tour as well. I will just close this one to see what happens. Now what we can see now, we are in the Power Apps Maker Studio. We can see we are in our environment, which is the default environment right now for our tenant, and this looks all very good. Now what happens if I open the app launcher over here? Now I can see more apps. If I click on all apps, here we go. Here we have all the apps that we were expecting earlier. We have the Admin Center, we have Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI. There we have it. Good. So this is our developer tenant and it's working now. Now let's check this tab. I don't know why all the apps aren't listed here. Maybe let's hit refresh. Still no. Interesting. So this is a mystery for another day. Let's just hit the app launcher and go back to Office here. Then we need to sign into our account once again. We will skip this as usual. Stay signed in this time. And here we are. We get another Office 365 tour, which we will close for the moment. And now we can install all the Office 365 app. And if we click on all apps now, boom, here we are. That are the apps that we wanted to see. Now let's take a look around. I was telling you earlier that I would like to show you how it looks in the Admin Center. Let's check if our 16 users are already there. So we click on it. We need to sign in again. I will skip the safety recommendations. Don't do this at home. Maybe set up multi-factor authentication. But for this video, this is okay. The Admin Center loads for the first time. Usually that takes a little while. What's your admin style? Yep. And let's go for the users. What active users do we have? And there they are. Amazing. We have users that might sound familiar. We have Adele Vance, Alex Wilbur, Miriam Graham, Megan Bone. And if we click on one, let's see. What do we have here? We have the user name, the email. The photo is already there. We have last sign in. And we have a phone number, display name, first name, last name. We have a manager even. Adele is member of a few groups. And we can check the devices. No devices enrolled in Intune, that's okay. We have the E5 developer license. Let's check the apps. She is set up for all the apps that we have here. especially for Power Automate, for example. That's really good. So we could use her, or she could work on Power Apps and Power Automate as well. Good. So our users are already there, up and running. That's good. After the admin center, let's maybe check Teams, shall we? So if we click on that, I want to start Teams in the browser. Choose my account. Skip the security thing. And Teams is there in the browser. I get the first recommendation tool within Teams, and I will skip this as well. I'm in Shift, so I could create a schedule. That's not what I do. But wait a minute, there's activity already. Let's check this out. I was already added to different teams and channels. So this is interesting. As I mentioned earlier, there are different channels and teams already deployed. Once again, this is sample data. You can see this one is in bold, so there must be happening something new. You want to use this tenant for test and learning purposes, and that means you need data you can work with. You need, like, for example, let's check it here. You need actual messages or conversations that you can use in your flows and apps. So here we have it with different languages to different time zones, even GIFs. This is really handy and really cool. This is like a real world environment that we can work in. Excellent. Okay, step 2 done. As I mentioned earlier, we want to beef your developer tenant up and give you the full Power Platform experience. So let's switch over to the Power Apps Maker Studio once again. I just opened the environments. If you click on the environment button in the upper right corner, you can see which environments you have. And by now you have the standard default environment, which is okay. But if you really want to get the full Power Platform experience, you usually need a standalone Power Platform license, which gives you the ability to use Dataverse and premium connectors. So, but for learning purposes, we don't want to spend money on a real license because there is something that is called the Power Apps Community Plan. And we will now link your developer tenant to this community plan. This will give you a whole new developer environment that will give you the ability to use premium connectors and Dataverse and get the full power of the Power Platform to learn and test it all. So let's start a new tab and go to the website. And the address is powerapps.microsoft.com/community-plan. We end up here, and that looks really good. Now let's get started. Free. Build and test Power Apps for free, or existing user, add a new dev environment. Now this looks a little bit different from last time I was trying it, interestingly. We are an existing user, I would say. We do have a tenant up and running, so let's just add a dev environment to our tenant. Let's see how that works. We have to sign in to our account. We are signed in automatically. Skip the security questions. And this is my name that I was getting. So this is me. This is my my account. Let's check real quick. FNU, LNU, that is us. Awesome. Choose your country to begin in. We are not in the United States, and we are in Germany. Where is it? Here we go. Send me the latest Power Apps tips and information. This is actually a very good newsletter. I really highly recommend it if you're looking into using the Power Platform more frequently. Latest developments and latest news, really awesome. I do already have it, so I won't click at it again. But I choose accept now. Something's happening. Stuff is loading. Almost there. Now, that just took a few seconds. Let's check the environment. We have another environment, and that's it has my name. That's really nice. And here we go. Now let's see if that worked. Now, let's click on Dataverse. So, Power Apps want to start a new connection. Let's see. I already see a lot of connections in there and even premium connectors, as you can see that here with a little diamond. Let's check Microsoft Dataverse, create this new connection, and it works. Here we have a lot of tables to start from. This was just the final test if that really works. So the default environment works pretty good. We can use premium connectors, we can use Dataverse, and now our developer tenant, if you go back to Office, is set up with the E5 license, with the Power Apps community plan, so we can use premium connectors, Dataverse, and now we can start building. Now we can start creating solutions within the Power Platform. So, thank you very much for staying with me. You just witnessed that I recorded my first video ever. I know it's a little bit rough around the edges, but hey, we all start somewhere. And you can start now, during the holidays, to play around with the Power Platform on your own tenant, where you're a global administrator. You can learn, you can dive into it, go to the community and check out all the awesome videos how to start with Power Platform, with Power Automate, with the virtual agent or Power BI. Do whatever you please. Now you have the freedom and the opportunity to do so. I wish you happy building. I wish you happy holidays. And if you want to reach out to me and if you have any questions, please do so. You will find me on Twitter and LinkedIn. But let's be honest, Twitter is better. You can find me at Michael Roth 42. Feel free to reach out to me. Have a nice holiday and a nice season. See you. Bye.